Pocari Sweat presents The Sweat You Forget. Hello there, I'm Carrie, and this is your body. You might be wondering why it looks so pale. That's because your body releases at least 2.5 liters of fluids every day. You see, it's the sweat that you forget that's dehydrating you. Like work from home overtime takes effort, causing your body to sweat. In cold temperature, your body burns energy to stay warm. Having caffeinated drinks and alcohol can make you urinate more often. Fever causes sweating as your body is fighting viruses. And when you cry, you release body fluids through tears. But remember, you can always recover with Pocari Sweat. Because of these ions, we make a good match for your body's hydration needs. Ooh, this is our stop. Remember, don't let the sweat you forget keep you from living a healthy and hydrated life. Pocari Sweat.
Bahagi na ng buhay nating mga Pilipino ang sports. Mula sa panahon ng unos, sa tamis ng tagumpay, sa kabila ng pagbabago ng buhay, ang Philippine Sports Commission ay patuloy na magigilingkod sa sambayanan at atletang Pilipino.
Isang magandang hapon po yung lahat. Welcome for another episode of our weekly, lagi po namin sinasabing weekly episode of ating PSC Chatroom. Siyempre, ang programa pong ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Philippine Sports Commission, headed by our Chairman Richard Bachman, and our 4 commissioners, Commissioner Fitz Giston, Commissioner Bongku, Commissioner Walter Torres, and Commissioner Edward Haiko. And syempre, foreshadowing yan later dahil as you know, a couple of days back, we already gave you konting hint lang naman kung sino po yung makakasama po natin ngayong hapon po na ito. But if you're watching us across the platforms po ng Philippine Sports Commission, may it be on our Facebook, sa mga nanonood po sa ating Facebook live, hello po sa inyo. You can comment down as early as now, no? May kita po namin yan. Also, if you're, baka po may mga nanonood po sa inyo from our Twitter platforms, hello din po. And syempre, yung mga nanonood po, subscribing us sa aming pong YouTube platform sa Philippine Sports Commission yan, sa aming YouTube channel. Isang magandang hapon po sa inyo. Ako po si Josh Ecanor from the Public Communications Office. And today, ngayong araw po is May 31, huling araw po ng buwan ng Mayo, and syempre medyo matagal-tagal yung May, ano, and hindi ko po alam, I don't know about you guys, pero sa sports po marami pong naganap, maraming nangyari, and we are finally closing the month of May ngayong araw po na to. Today is a Wednesday as usual, lagi po natin ginagawa yan, and we're very excited to approach the next month, no? Siyempre papunta na po tayo sa June bukas. But bago tayo pumunta doon and to many different activities na gagawin po natin sa Philippine Sports Commission, I would just like to this episode we have a nice episode coming your way ngayong hapon po na ito dahil we have invited one of our sports leaders, no, that would really share with us his vision, at the same time getting to know about his story, and how can we be inspired, and how will he improve, no, and yung ating pagpatuloy yung legacy that has been set dito po sa ating Philippine Sports Commission. I just want to greet, ayan, nanonood na po sa atin si Josephine Fitness. Di ko alam kung apelido niya yan, pero si Josephine Fitness is watching. Si Shaira Castro is also watching. Si Christian Delovino, ayan, nanonood din po sa atin. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. Si Jonathan Pasqua, si J. Doctora, ayan. si Ann Mina Tuzon, yan, and si Ariel Flores. Yan, si Sir Ariel ba to? Ayun, si Sir Ariel Flores. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. Like I said, we are ending the month of March with this program, no? But before tayo pumunta sa buwan ng June, let me give you a recap. No? We have a lot of updates this week, most especially in the past few days, mga naganap po sa loob at labas ng ating ahensya. Ito po ang ating PSC this week. Let's start off ang atin po mga updates for this week. Yeah, we're just gonna flash photos on your screen. Nung last Wednesday po, that's May 24, ang atin pong Chairman Richard Bachman ay sinamahan po ang mga representatives natin from the Department of Education, si Dr. Dexter Galban, the Assistant Secretary for Operations, and si Dr. Nenet Alama, ang Director for Bureau of Learning Support Services. Sila po, together with our chairman, went to the ASEAN School Sports Council General Mancom meeting that was in Bali, Indonesia po. No? You can see on your photos on your screen, and ang ating pong chairman ay dumalo doon, and syempre just to get to be with the ASEAN school sports officials, no, na talagang magtatawid po. We are anticipating, as you remember, meron po tayong ASEAN School Games, and syempre one of the reasons ba't nagko-convene po sila dyan nitong nakaraang linggo, just to solidify yung hosting, no, and yung pag-conduct ng ASEAN School Games. I'm very sure may mga viewers tayo ngayon na naging parte niyan on the previous editions ng ASEAN School Games. And after that po, on Thursday naman, last Thursday, that's May 25, our Iloilo City Executive Assistant for Youth and Sports, Mr. Rudiver Junco Senior, and ang ating pong Iloilo Sports Community Affairs Officer, si Mr. Rain Dayot, ay formally po tinanggap po nila, no, ang ating pong incentives from the Philippine Sports Commission. Ito po ay yung kakatapos lang po, no, last December, I believe, natin pong Batang Pinoy National Championships, and to formally give, no, yung atin pong incentive on behalf of the PSC board. Nandiyan po ang ating Commissioner Bongku in a simple turnover ceremony lang naman po, no. Dito po yan sa ating opisina sa Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. Kung matatandaan nyo po, yung ating mga atleta from the Iloilo City ay nagbigay sa atin ng they placed 5th mo sa Batang Pinoy National Championships, and sila po ay nagbigay ng 17 gold, 14 silver, and 15 bronze medals. And again, congratulations po muli. No? Alam ko it's been a few months na, pero we just want to congratulate yung mga atleta natin dyan from the local government of Iloilo. And there we go. On Saturday naman po, on Friday, there we go. Saturday po pala, on May 27, ang ating pong Team Philippines Chef de Mission and ang ating very own Commissioner Walter Francis Torres. Kasama po ang kanyang Deputy Chef de Mission, si Ms. Irene Soriano, and si Ms. Rowena Bautista of the Philippine Paralympic Committee. Ay sila po yung mga nauna na pumunta na po, bumalik muli ng Cambodia. This time for the preparations po, no, sa papalapit na 12th ASEAN Para Games. Gaganapin muli yan po, no, sa bansa po ng Cambodia. And nauna po doon ang ating CDM and commissioners, Com Walter, just to set the preparations, no, for our Team Philippines. And syempre, sila na po, I believe, dumalo po sila sa mga series of delegation registration meetings with other CDMs as well, ng mga participating nations. And syempre, nandun po sila together na with our athletes. I believe we're gonna update that later. And for the arrival and classifications ng mga para-atleta po natin. So we're cheering on them together with our CDM and Commissioner Walter Torres na supporting them, rallying behind them sa atin pong Team Philippines. And syempre, on Sunday po, ito naman, just give a short shout out sa ating mga atletang Pilipino. This time, itong Sunday po, we are congratulating our national cycling athletes, si Ariana Evangelista, ayan, and si Mark Valderrama. Sila po ay nagwagi, no, sa Kude Hapon Yawatahama mountain bike race. Yan po ay ginanap sa Japan. Nahirapan ako sabihin yun. And si Ariana just placed third for the bronze in the women's elite category, and si Mark naman ay nagwagi ng bronze din sa men's under 23 category. And syempre, yung itong pong panalo na ito ay nagbigay sa kanila ng Olympic qualifying points, no, para po sa bansa. And syempre, looking forward for the 2024 Paris Olympics. There we go. Congratulations, guys. And itong Monday po, just now, a few days ago, itong Lunes po ay unti-unti po nating ina-update yung ating po mga sports fans sa buong bansa no of the services na pino-provide ng Philippine Sports Commission. This time on our pong medical scientific athlete services, ang ating pong EMSA, sila po ay nagkaroon ng mga pre-game mental preparation sessions kasama po yung ating Philippine Para Judo team. Yun nga, they're also competing sa ASEAN Para Games. And yeah, there you go, seen on your photos on your screens. Yan, kasama ng ating mga EMSA staff and nurses, yung ating mga para judo athletes. There we go. Alam niyo po, malaking boost po ito, no? Hindi lang po yung mga atleta po natin, hindi lang nagte-train at nagko-compete, pero they're also they should be supplied with medical attention, and may it be on nutrition, on sports psychology, on of sports rehab and everything. At lahat po 'yan ay pinoprovide po ng Philippine Sports Commission sa ating mga atletang Pilipino. And speaking of atletang Pilipino, ito na, no, just want to update yung first batch po ng ating mga national para-athletes from the different sports, no, from judo, football, goalball, chess, swimming, powerlifting, and badminton. Sila po, nung Lunes din po ay they are now bound to Cambodia, no, for the ASEAN Para Games. We're cheering on them. Kasama po nila yung mga secretariat and medical teams from the Philippine Sports Commission who will be assisting them and providing technical support doon po sa Cambodia. Na-see the photos on your screens. Ayan, all smiles yung ating mga para-athletes. Ganon din po yung ating secretariat team. No? Mahalaga po, as mentioned by our chairman and the board, no? Na yung suporta po ng Philippine Sports Commission, hindi lang po financially, but also yung physical presence ng ating mga staff and workforce from the PSC and our medical teams are there to provide immediate assistance sa ating mga atletang Pilipino. And on the same day, on Monday po, also looking forward na, guys, as another update from you for everyone. I believe in 3 months we'll be having the Asian Games in September this year. And syempre alam ko po kakatapos lang natin sa Southeast Asian Games with syempre we're giving the best at praises sa ating mga national athletes. Pero ito na, meron ng another looming event, no? A bigger one dito, Asian level naman, I believe the 19th Asian Games. Gaganamin po yan sa China. And to prepare for that, ang ating pong Asian Games chef de mission, also our NSA president na si Richard Gomez, and ang ating pong POC Deputy Secretary General si Ms. Karen Caballero ay nagkaroon po ng brief discussion kasama po ang ating Chairman Richard Bachman, no, in preparation na dito sa Asian Games that will be happening on September. I know it was mentioned by our board, our chairman, that they would really make necessary adjustments po, no, para magpapatuloy yung suporta sa ating atleta. And this starts off this week, no. Nakipag-meet na po ang ating chairman with CDM Richard Gomez on that matter. And syempre on Tuesday naman, there we go, on Tuesday, ang atin pong board, our chairman and our commissioners ay dumalo po to their very first guesting as the whole PSC board, although alam natin si Kong Walter is in Cambodia right now. Almost buo, no? Pero nandun po yung ating board to guest the Philippine Sports Writers Association PSA Forum. That was yesterday, I believe, yes. And marami pong binahagi ang ating PSC board of their assessments, of their evaluations of the SEA Games. At the same time, moving forward to the direction of the PSC in the next coming years, especially po sa ating grassroots sports development. Ayan, I see the photos of your screens. Ayan, all smiles. Siyempre, we're really thanking ating po mga media partners there who really nakinig po sila, listened, and siyempre, just to really be a voice, no, yung sa atin pong mga plano ng Philippine Sports Commission in the next coming months, in the next coming years. And later, mamaya, yung mga kasama nating guest, no, we'll be hearing more from him kung ano ba yung puso ng ating PSC board for that matter. And syempre, kung kanina meron tayong first batch na umalis, no, kahapon din po ng gabi, ay yung second batch naman of our para-athletes going to Cambodia ay nandun na rin po. We are sending off yung mga para-athletes natin from the sports of para-table tennis, yan, para-athletics, and sitting volleyball, basketball, sitting volleyball and basketball. Kasama yung mga working group pa po natin ay nandoon po, no, hinatid po ang ating mga para-athletes going to the 12th ASEAN Para Games in Cambodia. And syempre today, just a last update, no, ngayong araw po na ito, dito po sa loob ng Rizal Memorial Sports Complex, we will be ang ating pong one of our stadiums dito po lang sa likod ng Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. Magkakaroon po tayo ng the official start of the 19th Junior and 14th Senior Rhythmic Gymnastics Asian Championships. Magaganapin po yan, I think, in a while, no, after this program dun po sa Ninoy Aquino Stadium. So if you're around the area, and I think their tickets po, no, available, you can just come here, I believe, in kung gusto niyo pong manood ng mga best of the best elite rhythmic gymnasts natin dyan to showcase their talents. So panoorin niyo po dito sa Ninoy Aquino Stadium. Our chairman will be there later just to grace ang atin pong event. Napakadami pong updates. I hope you're getting, I hope nahuli niyo po yung mga updates that we are sharing with you. Pero kung hindi niyo po man po, kung may na-miss out po kayo, you can always go back and check our social media accounts. Nandun lang po yan lahat, all over Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Maging sa ating pong mga YouTube platforms where you can always rewatch ang atin pong programa sa PSC Chatroom. There you go. And madami pong updates like I mentioned, and bago po tayo dumako sa ating segment, we will having a short break, no? And pagbalik natin, sasabihin ko po, no, we're gonna be welcoming ang atin pong special guest ngayong hapon po nito, who's sharing ang kanyang vision din, ang kanyang puso sa atin pong the future of Philippines sports and the Philippine Sports Commission as well. Magbabalik po ang PSC Chatroom sa ilang paalala.
Pocari Sweat presents The Sweat You Forget. Hello there, I'm Carrie. You see, it's the sweat that you forget that's dehydrating you. Like, work from home overtime, oversleeping, being in cold temperatures, having caffeinated drinks, or alcohol, fighting a fever, and even crying. But you can always recover with Pocari Sweat. Because of these ions, we can help with your body's rehydration. So remember the sweat you forget and always stay hydrated. Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat presents The Sweat You Forget. Hello there, I'm Carrie. You see, it's the sweat that you forget that's dehydrating you. Like, work from home overtime, oversleeping, being in cold temperatures, having caffeinated drinks, or alcohol, fighting a fever, and even crying. But you can always recover with Pocari Sweat. Because of these ions, we can help with your body's rehydration. So remember the sweat you forget and always stay hydrated. Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat presents The Sweat You Forget. Hello there, I'm Carrie. You see, it's the sweat that you forget that's
Nagbabalik po ang PSC Chatroom and ayun na, wala nang patumpik-tumpik. We have with us this afternoon. I'm very excited na makasama po ang ating one of our commissioners in the PSC board. That I think one of the last po ba? Last commissioner? Last commissioner? Commissioner that the missing piece that would complete yung ating PSC board. And bago ko gawin yun, bago po siya i-introduce, I just wanna greet, importante lang yung mga nanonood po sa atin, si Nenita Pardenilia, si Angelica Quiachon, si Thea Maisi, si Jay Yulo, and syempre may nanonood na kasi just a perfect time to introduce to you. Si Miss Duday Gaston is watching. We have with us this afternoon ating very own PSA Commissioner Matthew Fritz Gaston. Batiin yung mga viewers natin.
Good afternoon sa lahat ng viewers, mga sumusunod sa atin PSC Chatroom.
Si Miss Duday din po,
Good afternoon kay Miss Duday Gaston, who happens to be my one and only love, my wife.
Ayun.
Paano niya nalaman na meron ito at nandyan agad siya sa pagsusumbaybayan niya.
Ayun, mukhang feeling ko, prior to your guesting ko, mukhang nanonood na po ng programa natin ang inyo pong wife. Thank you po again for coming. I know we've met personally when you came in here sa Philippine Sports Commission. I asked you a few questions already and how did you feel? Pero this time dahil syempre hearing it from the program, yung mga nanonood po sa atin ngayon live by the platforms po ng Philippine Sports Commission. Can you just share with us? Alam ko you're somewhat a new and not so new name in Philippine sports. Yeah. And, can you just tell us something about yourself, Com? And syempre, mostly, how was your first 2 months here being a commissioner?
Yeah, right. 2 months. Actually, Joss, I'm on my second month as of the other day, because I was appointed March 24, I think. So that's almost exactly 2 months. And, to tell them who I am, one is probably every time now people ask me, if they see me, they meet me, they always ask, ano mo yung volleyball player na Ponggay Gaston? Well, she happens to be my daughter who plays volleyball in the Pro League. But kaya nga it's become a irritating joke because every time they ask us, hindi niyo ba ako kilala? I'm the former PBA player, di ba? And then I played for Ateneo, and then also I played for the national team, in 1977. In fact, that was the first SEA Games that was held, and because before that, iba Pana Games or something ang tawag doon. Then made it in 1977 the SEA Games. Kaya then you mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned that SEA Games already. That's the first event that I attended to. Yeah, so immediately recollection on. So that's basically who I am. And that I've always been in sports, and I always say na I've gone around already. If it were a will, I've gone full circles because I started off as an amateur, diba, in college, and then for the national team and for the school, and then I went into professional when talk about sports. I played in the PBA, and then I became a commissioner in the Games and Amusements Board, which is basically the one that monitors and handles the police, the professional. And now I'm back in the amateur scene, in the amateur sports scene, which is the PSC.
Yeah. Hindi ko po alam if ako po ay personally buhay ng time na si Come naglaro ng SEA Games, but I think I've seen a few clips, Come, napanood namin, but we've seen a few clips, and it's good to know na kayo po, it runs in the blood talaga, Come, nasa in the blood. Hello po kay Miss Ponggay if you're watching. And Com, you just mentioned you were part of one of the commissioners ng Games and Amusement Board prior to this. How does it differ po? I know it's early to say being just 2 months in here, pero baka po you have something. Can you just share with us kung nagiging na po yung difference between handling this?
Well, one, it's basically to make it really clear. It's just, in short, I'll probably say it's like black and white. You compare it, no? Or I'm saying that because for GAB, Games and Amusements Board, there are very few sports that are involved. because it's pro league. So, and of the few that probably can count it with your one hand, with just your 5 fingers, it's basketball and boxing that are the more popular professional leagues, no? Then we also have cycling, we also have golf, and now we have PVL. So there are not very many. In fact, our job that time was to make sure to see if the sports is already, if they're getting paid or if the tournament gives prize money, then that is already tagged as a professional. Then we go to them, say, hey, you're a professional league, so maybe you should convert and turn into a professional league. So there are not very many. Now, when I get to PSC, and between 5 and down, now in PSC, we have almost more than 72 sports and NSAs, no? So practically whatever sports that you can think of, and some that you cannot even think of that are sports here, it's there. And we manage it, and that's divided amongst us commissioners plus the chairman as overall. So that's basically the difference between GAB, Games and Amusements Board, and Philippine Sports Commission.
And we've been seeing we've been seeing people we have been seeing officials as well and sports leaders natin from GAB with Sir Mitra.
Yes,
so
right.
actively partnering with the PSC and GAB. But
That's right.
kayo po just want to get your thoughts. I know it's the GAB is also under the office of the president, I believe.
Right,
before.
right,
And
that's
also
right.
with the PSC now being under it. And kayo po right now, if you can just share sa ating mga viewers, I know you shared it with most of us here sa loob po ng PSC, but can you just share sa ating po mga audience, how did it came about, you being a commissioner, and ano po yung mga initial reactions nyo when you got the news na you're the last remaining piece that would complete the PSC board?
Well, it was, well, I felt, well, some sort of excitement. I said, oh, I'm back into sports, because I got into sports when friends told me, why don't you apply? And then, so I did, no? And the same process I went through when I was with GAB, and they said, oh, you should apply in sports because you were basically in sports. So when I did, and I was accepted, this was during the administration of Pinoy, and then that's how I got involved in the sports. In fact, you mentioned what the coordination or the between the two organizations. It would be like we would have to coordinate with PSC and say, wait, is this particular athlete a pro, or is that or this athlete turning pro? So then how would be the handoff? Yeah. So we would have to have a clear delineation kung paano ang gagawin para ma-hand off clearly. Kasi ang iba dyan, they play in between. They don't want to be pros, but they don't also want to be amateurs. So mahirap yung ganon if you're in the gray area, probably trying to avoid certain being under regulated by an organization or an agency. So yun, no? But in terms now of what excitement and all, parang I was excited, but when I got here, it was pala different, the thrill, no? Yung, kasi siyempre when I started, slow lang ito, no? Yeah. Ngayon pala hindi. The first thing I did when I sat in the office, there was already an NSA. This NSA is under you. And then the chairman says, all this list of NSAs will be under you. I handled it when you're not here. So 17, immediately just mine, 17 versus the whole term ko sa GAB, which we had 5 or a little bit more, give or take 1 or 2. So ang laki na agad na difference. And it did not stop there, because after that, may dadating na, ito may gustong to introduce themselves. This is an NSA of so-and-so, and also. So, and this kept on. So basically, it was like a whirlwind introduction na kala mo you just sit, hindi pala. And after that, less than a month, yun na, Cambodia na pala. And before Cambodia, then you already have to prepare, no? You have to visit mga athletes, and I had to go and coordinate with the POC also in terms of the NSAs that I have. And it's drowning, but I'm enjoying swimming and staying afloat, and trying to also keep my NSAs that are under me afloat, no? And make sure that they go out there and they run basically, no? And show that what they're worth, basically.
Nai-feel namin that you're swimming already in the ocean of task na the Philippine sports. Pero just for the information po of the mga viewers po natin, yung this is not new, no? This may be new to the people hearing this. Pero yung mga ganun po talaga, pinaghahatian naman po talaga ng from our chairman to the board ko, ano, yung mga NSAs assigned to them. Assigned in a sense of like coordinating,
Right.
yun po yung powers on coordinating com, di ba? And making sure that their requests and the lineup of the athletes are always in sync and at the same time updated. But Com, can you just share with us
Right.
ano yung mga sports na yan that you
Well,
handle right now?
Yeah, basically, exactly. You hit it on the dot, Josh. Now, we really are like maybe the big brothers of this. We just make sure that they run properly, and we make sure that the athletes, their athletes of these national sports associations, are managed or taken care of, no? By the NSA heads, no, of that particular. So you ask which ones, to name a few. Well, I have like basketball, no, under the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas. And then we have boxing, and I have also equestrian, yung kabayo, that's under me. And then handball. See, handball is it's not a sport that we are familiar with, but relatively bago lang yan, no, of all the sports. We didn't have that, just like we had basketball or football and all that. So, and then we also have kickboxing that we are familiar with. Naman. Some Asian countries play that, and rowing, and shooting, and marami. So marami. Then I have surfing, swimming, wrestling, polo, and bodybuilding also. Those are just to name a few that we are familiar with, right?
So meron pa pong
And
mga,
the audience.
may mga ya-unlock pa po tayong sports. And again, like I said, the chairman mentioned it's almost 72, 73 sports already.
That's correct.
Supporting
Yes.
ng Philippine Sports
So
Commission.
basically, between the four of us commissioners plus the chairman, divide 72 would be about 20 each one. So that's 80, give or take. And then the chairman is overall makes sure that we run our respective NSAs properly.
And
he helps out,
some of
definitely.
these NSAs, some of these sports immediately, like I said, you mentioned immediately, some of these sports are nag-compete po.
That's
sa
correct.
kakatapos lang po
Na Cambodia, yes.
32nd Southeast Asian Games in Cambodia. And you were there together with our chairman and Commissioner Bong and Commissioner Walter Torres. You guys just went there, and I think it's the third time you're telling this story, but can you just share with us your experiences there? Feeling ko pinagod po kayo nila, chairman. Umikot-ikot po kayo. Can you just share with us ano po yung mga naging
Well,
experiences there?
talking about pinagod, literally, but then since we were all athletes or former athletes, no, we could keep pace with him, no, because we'd wake up really early, then like have our breakfast like at 6 and 7 in the morning, and we have a list of these are the sports events that we have for today. So we line it up, and then we'll talk as a team. How do we divide it, no, among the 3 or 4 of us? Ito, I'm going there, ikaw, you take care of this, and sometimes sabay kami. So that's how we did it. So for us to be able to see practically all the sports that are participating or competing on that particular day. So that's how we did it. So we'd start at 7. And my first test there of watching was the obstacle course.
Yun.
See, and that again is a relatively new sport, but that is already a medal sport for SEA Games, and hopefully that will become part of Asian, and then in the near future also Olympics, because it's a basically sport. In fact, that's very popular on TV, di ba? Yung anong ang tawag diyan sa America?
American Ninja
American Ninja. That's basically what obstacle course is, no? Even the setup, and this would be like at 7 in the morning. So when we just arrived, we rushed right away to watch our women and men, both individual and men and team, qualify, no, both for silver and medals. So after 2 days, that was the first hole that we had. One of the first ones. I don't know which exactly were ones, but the 2 gold and the 2 silver were won by us. Kasi we dominated, no? And they came in close fashion, thrilling fashion. So I found myself cheering for them, and not only as officials, but as fans talaga, or rooting fans. So it was exciting, no? And then other than that, then we went to all different sports. It wasn't like, hey, I'm only going to the sports that I'm involved in. No, hinati namin to all the sports that we were involved in, kahit hindi sa akin. In fact, ang joke nga, si Ed Naiko, who was tasked to man the fort, or to manage, because we have to have 1 and 2 to manage the office, no, to run its affairs. Sabi niya, you take care of my mga NSAs ko. Sabi ko, okay, I will watch your the sports that you handle and report what happens. Yon. So, and that would go on for 6 days. Na tuloy-tuloy yan. From 7 in the morning, we'll end up like 8 in the evening. So, all the sports I was exposed to. Don't ask me which ones on a per day basis because it was so many. There were so many na nakakalito na. And I didn't even have time to jot down and say, ito yung sports today, ito yung medal and all that. We expected that from our ones that monitor our medals, and then they just send us, this is our status in terms of medal, like that. These were the ones that we won today and all that. We watched that there, here, mga ganon.
And one of the new sports as well, no, grabe, ngayon lang nag-sink in sa akin na 7-2. 7-2.
Right.
Almost 7 in the morning until evening. One of the relatively new sports that you, I think we monitor that you were also checking in, yung esports po. How was it?
Yeah.
We saw you on the stands,
Yeah.
live.
Oh
you
my
were there
gosh.
with Sir Bones and everything.
That's right. That's right.
How was it?
Yeah.
Can you share ito physical, kung mga sports that you've been in are physical, ito puro screen.
Well, nice that you asked that because I flew in that day, that morning, and flying there is like a death march, so to speak. Kasi we would leave in the evening, like 10 or 11, then we get there like 2 or 3 in the morning their time. So on that day, I only had like 3 hours sleep. At 3, then I had to, when we got to the hotel check-in, by the time I slept mga 3, I had to wake up at 6, no? Breakfast kami. So 3 hours na to. We'll go. At the end of the day, the last was esports. Sabi sa akin, there's a request. Can you drop by esports and then award them also or watch even the championship? So I went, no. So that is not part of my sports. I think that's kay Com Walter, no. But he was not there at that time yet. He was still here. He was manning. He followed nagkakarelyebo when Combong came back. So he went there. But anyway, I attended that. And I'm a bit familiar with that. I'd probably say the esports is maybe millennial sports. Sa inyo, you'll probably know that, and many of you here know that. But I didn't know that. But when I was with Gab, nice nga you asked that because we professionalized that. There's a group of teams that came to us and said, we need our league, this one's professionalize our teams and all, because they could not participate in the US. The league there for the e-games or esports, they could not participate if they were not tagged professional. And that was big prize money. So I had the chance to attend the one in Seattle called Dota 2. That would be equivalent to our, what is that sport that we won in Mobile Legends. See, almost similar because when I was watching it, I go, ganito yun, Mobile Legends, it's exactly, you run and then you have your team, you have different characters, then you have to beat, kill each other or neutralize your opponent until you win the flag or you win the camp, right? Yes. So that was my experience in Dota, and that was huge.
You were in Seattle,
in Seattle there, because we just recently professionalized them. So we were invited to attend as commissioners. So the two commissioners and our legal went, and that's where my was open, no, my eyes and was open to how they showed it, and it was similar to ours, even bigger. The entire. Can you imagine like Araneta Coliseum or bigger than it was even bigger. The site, and they would have screens all over, and you're watching the screens and the fighters. You watch them there on the they had their booth, each one of their teammates and opposite nila kalaban. They're doing all that. So it was similar, but this is probably a smaller version because we were watching. We could watch them on set, and they were using a cell phone. Hindi yung desktop and all, kasi doon was desktop, but it's the same concept. So it was nice. I understood it, but I would always request, what is this? How do they beat each other in terms of points? And daming points kasi nakalagay sa board. It was interesting, but at the end of the day, sometimes nakakaidlip na ako. I would fall asleep a little bit and try to keep myself awake, Diyos. So, and late, natapos yun. When I awarded, it was almost like 10, 11. Sorry to cut you. 11 already in the evening, because they had to set up, then they have to put the flags, etc. for the winners. But we won gold that night.
Kasi important. Kung
So,
grabe
yeah.
yung mga story
It
mo.
was
And
nice.
we
So,
were thinking po when we saw you, at syempre yung mga
Oo.
production team po natin sa likod,
Dito,
tumatawa,
the e-games.
ngumingiti ngayon, na kasama ko po sila, there's monitoring the esports. And we saw you there. Si Com Fritz nandun.
Sa e-games.
We were thinking parang, paano siya we were thinking baka nahatak lang po kayo there, napaupo kayo. Now we know that kind of, you are very much knowledgeable pala
Well,
about
yeah.
esports. And
That's
yan,
why.
mga esports competition natin, Com Fritz will be there for us.
Oh my God.
And just concluding on that, Com, you saw our athletes win, like from the very start. So obstacle course, we won 4 golds, and down to the esports, you watched them, you awarded win golds. How does it feel, Com, being a commissioner now? You were before a coach. Siyempre, you take that pride in you with our women's basketball. But right now, as an official of the PSC, how does it feel? Ikaw na yung nasa cheering stance, you're the one raising the flag, shouting for them.
That's interesting question, no? Kasi being an official officer and di dapat official ka na. You're not a fan or you're not a coach anymore, no?
Yeah.
But when I was watching, then it just get out of my mind. Then immediately I find myself being a coach, a critic, or even a fan. No, I was watching the soft tennis. Of course, I didn't know soft tennis before. So when the first time I watched that, that's another new sport for me. It's tennis, and I love the sports of tennis. Pero softer yung ball. So iba, no? It's probably slower. And I found myself cheering during the championship, even while they were hitting the ball. In tennis, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yun eh. Tennis, you have to be quiet, di ba? And
After the point na lang, yeah.
Di ba? After the point. But I was cheering for our team. Every time they did, I'd cheer para more or less parang ma-disturb yung kalaban, no? And after we won that, I asked the coaches, can you do that in tennis? Actually, you can do that, but you know, in tennis, you shouldn't do that. So I think I'll skip out already. Baka makita ako nung those kalaban, Thailand or something, cheering and ano. So that's how it was. It was fun asking me as coach. So then I would comment ulit, bakit niya ginawa yun? Dapat hindi ganun, di ba? I was acting like a coach already. And so it's a combination of being a coach and being a fan. At the end of the day, I had hoarse voice.
Wow.
I lost my voice till the next day. So, and that was like that every day and all that. So, even as officials, we would be sitting on the stage with other officials. And you think I'd keep quiet? No, I would cheer. Yung mga wrestling, judo, and all, and fencing. You know, we would be sitting the VIP seats, no, for commissioners and officials. But I would be cheering. So, you know, I wouldn't care whether the other officials would do or not. But some would be also then, at least meron kayong parang brotherhood, like Indonesia, I can speak Indonesian. So pag yung Indonesian kalaban, even the championship, then I would immediately just say something in Indonesia, bagus, ito, you know, it's good. Yeah? Then they'd hear like that. Yeah, saya, I can speak, saya bisa, you know, belajar bahasa, I can speak bahasa. Then they said, oh, okay, so we would be cheering for each other already. Parang ganun na, hey, we're competitors, but we're friendly competitors. That's the beauty naman of sports. No? You relate with amongst your mga different races, but your brothers in sports.
And it's nice to hear that, Com, kasi nag-prepare up po eh. Nagko-compliment po yung mga stories niyo with the stories of our chairman. Tapos si Combo, when we had her on this program, sabi pa ni Com, halos nung medal natin with the Kwan Bukator, I believe, nung naluluha pa siya being a parent. With you now, like hearing your stories from start of the day to the end of the day, cheering on them like a parent. Even nakikipag-trash talk na ata kayo kung sa kabilang feeling ko hindi naman. You're there.
Yes.
That's the SEA Games, and a few days from now we'll be starting the ASEAN Para Games. You were there as well, Com, when the Philippine Sports Commission send off yung ating our athletes. And syempre, I just updated kanina, they already left the country with our PSC workforce. So I just like to get your heart on this na ganun po kahalaga na nandun yung suporta po mismo ng Philippine Sports Commission, not just in intangible things but yung physical na presence, this time being not just with you being an official but yung workforce, yung medical team. Ano po yung difference does it make?
Oh wait, are you talking about the Para Games
the
now?
Para Games,
Yeah,
the Para
versus
Games.
yung ano. You know, for me, it was my first experience with the Para Games dito, or our para athletes, when they had a seminar with the how to deal with media and all that. This was at the Ultra about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Kumbawit had sent an invitation. So, okay, then I'll drop by. So I went, no? And that's where I first met the para athletes, no? And it was so, for me, I was so proud meeting them, and I felt like, my gosh, all these people, all these guys, they are not like the other athletes where they have these disabilities, and yet, they're athletes, and they're saying, my gosh, these guys, these athletes are stronger than us, what you call normal athletes. So I was very impressed, and I was so proud seeing them. And in fact, I met one of the chess players. He said, "Oh, he's a champion, and he's in wheelchair, and he cannot walk, and he was a champion gold medalist." And so I talked to the coach. Hey, can I have my nephew's normal, meaning he has all the senses, does not have any disabilities, and able to turn. And I said, can I have him trained, under your program? Pwede naman. I didn't even think of sending him to a normal chess club and said, I want with them because how the coach was able to train for him to produce a champion. So again, when we went to the send-off, so it was amazing, like sabi nga ni Ed, no? He could feel the positivity, the aura and the of the athletes, that they were very positive about so it was good. It was very nice feeling, and kaya nga, especially that they feel that they sense that we're out there to support them.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were there, the fact that I went from table to table, talked about their sports, how they participate. So it was a very nice eye-opener for me. In fact, I looked forward to being able to go, but I just cannot. Anyway, chairman's going to be there to support. Yeah. I would have wanted to, kaya lang some schedules that I have here around dito sa different provinces I have set to go. But I said, I will from now on go and visit them just like what chairman did. 3 days ago, he started visiting different trainings. So, and I'd like to do that, to watch how these guys train, these fellow athletes natin. Yun, so...
Yeah. And reiterating on my question, Kinakom, yung with the SEA Games natin, our SEA Games, I think there's just a few PSC people there, our secretariat, just four. I think with you guys, commissioners, and just the 4 staff.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we're sending more on the ASEAN Para Games just to help our secretariat, our workforce there.
Right.
Gano'n ka-importante kung na nandun talaga kayo, nandun yung mga workforce natin, our staff from PCO, just really like boosting, helping them.
Yeah, it's very important. One, we actually saw what are the needs of the athletes and so on. And then one particular thing we saw was that parang they were a bit undermanned in terms of our medical nga, because we only had like 4, no? I think that was the only agreement. So chairman now has been very vocal saying, hindi kulang yan. Kasi, no, yung for all the athlete needs, no? Kung nagsabay-sabayan, all of them would need certain for the body, yung mga masur, no? And then for also medical, no? Like, and then he also saw one athlete na sprain in between semis and gold to play in the gold. They only had ice to sort of like parang wow, and then just sabi sa wow, this is not how it's done, no? Kaya sabi niya, no, we will not allow this anymore. So we intend to give them more support in terms of that in all aspects. Training, obviously, that goes with the NSAs, plus the back support, yung mga medical and yung ating mga masure. So we will correspondingly give more than what is needed.
Lalo na ngayon, I think September this year, I just mentioned yung 19th Asian Games is also approaching. The Asian Games hindi itong Southeast Asia level, but this time Asian level na to, and
that's right.
Looking forward for the Olympics next year.
Right. So talking about Asian level, I was with when we were watching the swimming, and I was wondering, sabi ko, bakit ang swimming ng Singapore ang galing, di ba? Like almost Olympic. In fact, they probably have, I think they have an Olympian already, no, swimmer that won gold. And then I was talking to one official na Singaporean. Sabi ko, bakit ang galing ng swimming nyo? So maybe we can have some exchanges. You know why? Because we put funding into that, and all the support that is needed for their swimming. Practically what is basketball to us, sa kanila ang swimming in all schools, they're taught. And then not only that, for their team, nandun lahat ng support, all the medical, all the things that are needed by the athletes during the competition of SEA Games, nandun lahat ang backup support nila. So I think that's what we meant, that we will raise the level of our facilities for training, as well as the support, manpower support for them, no? So basically that will come in what you call sports science. So that is
Yeah.
one program that we will look into. Okay.
There we go. Ang dami nito. Talking about elite management, PSC. But this time, just for a few questions before we end, I'd just like to ask, kahapon po, you were guesting sa ating pong PSA forum.
Yeah.
And syempre, you, together with chairman, the board, you guys relaying your heart for sports. And syempre, ang Philippine Sports Commission po, no, was fun fact po yan, pa mga hindi po nakakaalam, na PSC was established under a Republic Act number 6847, and syempre ang mandato po ng Philippine Sports Commission, but to help the elite fund the elite. But at the same time,
Right.
there's a certain clause that says the propagation o yung implementing a comprehensive national grassroots sports development
Right.
program. And I would just like to ask, with you talking with the chairman and the board, ano po yung heart ng ating commission leading into making up a program that would really close in the gaps, yung papunta ng that would really smoothen out yung parang highway, kumbaga, the pathway for a kid starting from this and to this group age to this group age, going to our programs in Batang Pinoy, to Philippine National Games, and then becoming an elite athlete.
Well, Josh, you actually explained it already in your questioning. You even mentioned Batang Pinoy and all. Yes, that's exactly our pathway. Well, you mentioned again why PSC was established. Well, there are three basic key ingredients there. One is it's to support sports for all.
Yeah.
In other words, everyone, all should be involved into sports. Huh? And then two is the grassroots, the development that you mentioned, wherein that will be the trigger, or that will be the feeder for our youth elite, and then to the national elite natin. So that's basically, so we will support, PSC will support the grassroots, we will support the sports for all, and also we will support our national athletes. So that goes to our international tournaments. So basically, involved tayo sa national sports, sa local sports, sa ating mga clubs, and then in the international. So that's and now what PSC is all about. And the programs that we have, yung sabi mo nga, the pathway would be, na-mention mo ang Batang Pinoy. Batang Pinoy actually is the after grassroots basic, when you have kids, learn to play sports, no? And that is, by the way, the program of ComEd. You know, he gets the kids, no, the kid level excited, and then he gets them exposed to all different sports, and then trying to already get them into the level of not just playing, but at least understanding already how it should be played properly. Para from there, then they are brought to the second level of the grassroots, towards, yun na, parang Batang Pinoy is basically a higher level type of grassroots. That's where the 15 and under kids already learn the sports, then how it's played properly, and how they would be coached, and how the sports is played, no, on a competitive level na yon. Then from there, from grassroots, then we all a program now that we will establish also is what you call the National Youth Training Pool, because we don't have that consciousness. We have like national training pool for the elite, no, athletes that we find in palarong pambansa, magaling to, then we put them already in our national training pool that is under the PSC. And ito naman ngayon, in coordination with the NSAs, if they are part of that NSA, then they would pass them on to us for support, funding, travel, training, etc. So that's how it really is the ano. So for me, I'd like to focus on that one, yung level of this youth, no, because that's where you get athletes to get to the level of the elite athletes, yun ang atin doon. And that will be supported by, I mentioned a while ago, yung sports science. I think that will fall under upgrading our facilities, no. So that's another thing that hopefully we will be able to establish within our board, within this our admin, itong board na to establish upgrade of the facilities to almost to the scientific level of training our athletes.
Ayun, Chairman mentioned, I think this was yesterday when he mentioned our our program should be done the right way. Our grassroots sports program should done in the right way, and then that is linking them to the NSAs. And you being part of the NSAs before, ko with basketball, you're coaching our team. Gaano ka talaga kahalaga kom na we guide an athlete from his younger age, and then yung talagang we can this guide and this become this just grow, das mismong dumaan do sa pathway.
Oh, that's critical. In fact, that's the main ingredient of it. You have to have a smooth flow of or handoff, 'di ba, of an athlete, no? From youth, dapat tuloy-tuloy na alagaan niya, no? If we talk of basketball, let's talk about basketball. All these NBA good players now, great players, they did not start off just na-pluck from under somewhere and then yan, NBA player. No, these guys have started as youth. They have like under 12, under 14. Like let's talk about the Gasol brothers. Sila, and many others, they played as youth. Then from youth they join the other leveling nila of the sports that they go to all the way to college and then to the NBA. So ganun din dito sa atin. You just don't ngayon, ang nangyari kasi, we find somebody, magaling to, nasa high school level na, kukunin na ng college, then they play in college, magaling to, then goes to the national. Hindi, yung na-mention mo kanina yun, dapat they have to be talang naalagaan mo from bata. So, you identify a kid. Once you have identified the child, you expose him to different sports. Once ma-identify anong gusto niya talaga sports, then you put him in that him or her in that particular sports, then train him accordingly with the right training, with the right coach, and with the right equipments and all for that kid to grow in that sports properly and scientifically. So kaya again the key there would have good proper coaching. So for you to be able to do that, then you have to also train the coaches. So we have what you call the trainers. All our NSAs have expert coaches. So what will we do? Then we will send out our coaches in the different regions, in the different cities all over the Philippines for them to train the trainers or coach the coaches. Para naman yung coaches doon around will start coaching their children there in their municipality. Ako, hindi marunong mag-coach. Dadating ka, you're the expert. You will teach me how to coach. Para when I go back to my province where I am, then I will teach what you had taught me. Ganito pala mag-coach. Then we are all on the same wavelength ang coaching natin. So these kids now will learn the sports properly from the expert that is you, that you had passed on to me as a coach. You've trained the trainer. See, I am their trainer, but you train me as the trainer. So that's how we want to do that. So there has to be all in sync. Tapos in sim, no? You have the kids as a product, then you have the PSC through the PSC, then you have the training the coaches, then you have the facilities where they will train. So that's basically the ingredients there.
There we go.
Josh, yan.
It's really, din po talaga, I hope everybody's catching that talaga na, everybody's catching that pathway. No? Yun po that's the heart of our chairman, the heart of this board as well.
Right.
And at the same time, Confrits, ito lang po, just to really encapsulate yung mga pinag-usapan po natin ngayon. We have very few time, but I would like to ask this final question. Also pala, wait lang, bago ako mag-last question, you'll also be handling other sectors, no? Other sectors of the sports. You mentioned it was sports for all. We have women with football, and we have now, I believe indigenous, you will try to
also, yes. Yeah, indigenous would be those in the provinces or wherever we have our origin. Mga indigenous people, the ones that are origins of that particular region, no, or that particular to play. Kasi yung mga indigenous would be the sports that are non-Olympics, but that's particular to us. So I guess that's one way to describe them. And some of them become like, they become like part of the Olympics, like yung bangkaw. That's actually spear, and that's javelin. But that to us was bangkaw, so that's one indigenous sport. Then there is a pana. Pana is a bow and arrow. Diba? But we call that pana in the local lingo. So then that becomes archery. So these are the things that we also would like. And I think for me, that falls under yung mga sports for Lord. We will still be able to discover some athletes there.
Yeah,
No?
and then
But
just making sports accessible to everyone.
exactly, that's what it is also. Mm-mm.
Com, ito na. I'll just give you your parting shots. Alam ko po, there's so many things. You will be back as our guests pa sa ating programa. But can you just wrap it up, Com, with final messages, just really inviting our the Philippine sports. At the same time, just to support our athletes as well and yung mga programa po ng Philippine Sports Commission. Go ahead, Com.
Gosh, don't know. As parting, I guess one is magpapasalamat ako to our viewers, to our followers, the ones that are into sports, that watch PSC, because this is where you can get like information like us, di ba? Information from us rather on what is happening in sports and how we are supporting the athletes and the sports per se, the NSA. So yun lang, no? We continue to support us, and then in turn naman kami, we will provide you the ano naman, the information and whatever about sports in per se, no, for us. So, and also imparting then also those that are wishing to become to excel in sports, then you know what are the ingredients, no? It's just really basically your being passionate about the sports and really training hard, no, which that we were not able to, well, we didn't have to say that. All our athletes, especially the para athletes, how they train, like with blood, sweat, and tears. So, well, in anything naman in life, as long as you're passionate and then you focus on it. So, yun ang parting ko siguro for the ones that would like to become athletes, no? Yun.
Maraming salamat sa ating very own Commissioner Matthew Fritz Gaston. Com, I'll be with you in the couple of episodes ng ating Psc Chatroom. But again, maraming salamat po to our viewers na nanonood po sa atin. Special mention ko lang, Fritz, may mga bumabati kasi sa comment section natin, yung mga staff niyo po, si Sir Elias and si Miss Helen, no, watching from your office daw, yan sa likod natin. And
Yun.
good afternoon daw po, sabi ni Miss Helen. And sa mga viewers po atin, maraming salamat po. This has been a nice episode. This has been a great episode po para sa ating ngayong linggo na ito. And magbabalik po ang Psc Chatroom next week for another episode, no, ng ating programa na ito. And syempre, maraming salamat po again sa mga nanonood po sa amin, sumusubaybay across the different platforms ng Philippine Sports Commission. I think we're gonna be flashing ang aming pong social media platforms down below if we can, or above, whatever, nasa pong part ng ating screen. You may follow us there. You can always check that on Facebook. Hanapin niyo lang po Philippine Sports Commission. Also, sa baba. Ayan, sa baba daw. And to our Twitter, at PSC_Gov. And syempre, ang aming pong Instagram, you can always check great photos of our national teams there at Phil.SportsCommission. Syempre, lastly, sa aming pong YouTube, hanapin niyo lang po Philippine Sports Commission, and to our website at www.psc.gov.ph. Sa ngalan po na bumubuo ng ating programa, our Chairman Richard Bachman, our four commissioners, Commissioner Olivia Bongku, Commissioner Matthew Fitzgaston, Commissioner Edward Haico, and Commissioner Walter Torres. Maging sa production team of this program, Public Communications Office, headed by Ms. Malin Bamba. Hello, ma'am, in Cambodia. We're wishing you well. And the rest of the staff. Ako po si Josh Reconor. Maraming salamat po. We'll see you to the next episode of PSC Chatroom. Goodbye, everyone. Stay safe. And God bless.